just to make the crowd just go like, "What? What is this guy doing? Why is he doing that?" So I guess yeah, wanted to be in his like shoes. Like I was kind of jealous of it, but like it's fine. Like and all, like get rid of all distractions, ignore the crowd just yelling. I could actually win this because we are both one game away from winning the championships.
Alex, you pretty much turned from a major goofball to one of the best players of this era. Hi, my name is Frank, also known as SirMaser. Welcome to the Peace Dependency Podcast. Like I said, classic Tetris world champion Alex T is joining me on the show today. We talked about his magical CTWC run, but also how he got into NES Tetris, what his favorite level colors are, and much, much more. This is our conversation. Alex, welcome to the Peace Dependency Podcast, and thank you so much for doing this.
I'm glad that you can have me here, and I've been wanting to be in one of these, so it's a pleasure to be here.
Hey, first question is always the same question to everyone who's new on a podcast, and that is, how did you get into NES Tetris?
I got into NES Tetris when I saw the CTWC 2018 finals. I thought it was a finals for like a different game that I loved, but I stumbled across it and I was like, this is not the right game. But it's still interesting because it was Tetris just block stacking. So I just immediately just got put into it and I just watched a lot of their videos.
Yeah, what was the game that you thought that they were playing?
I thought it was a tournament called Clash Royale. It's like a different version of Clash of Clans, if you know what that is.
Yeah, the mobile game, right?
Yeah, it's where you just battle and stuff. But this was alternatively good, and I got hooked onto it.
But Clash Royale and Classic Tetris are two completely separate games. So, what made you stick around that you clicked on what you thought was a Clash Royale video, but it ended up being Classic Tetris? What made you stick around for the video?
I think it was like a lot of the engagement and like how the Tetris players played, because the commentary like made it like exciting. So I can tell it's already really competitive, and there's like a large crowd too. So there's a lot of aspects that makes it super competitive, and I'm like a lot of like a competitive person, so it would like already like make me hooked onto it, and just seeing how players just stack and like I like as a new player at that time, I would just think that's easy. I can do that. Why like everyone is just playing so bad? I can win the championship if I wanted to. So I think that's like a big reason why I got into it.
Was that also when you picked up the game for the first time? Did you still think, why are those people bad?
When I first started, my first game, I believe I like started on level 19, and I couldn't gotten a line on 19, and it was just a struggle. I was like, oh, so these guys can actually play. It actually requires practice. So I started practicing, and I started on level 5 to as a beginner.
Yeah, when was this?
I believe it was late January or 2020. I just like I think I didn't play. I watched the CTWC stuff in December, but I think I picked on an emulator on January 2020.
So, how much Tetris did you watch between like December and January?
I watched a lot, especially I think Game Scout had like a few videos. I think he made like a recap of CTWC 2018, and I also watched a bunch of Joseph Saley's wood records. So it kind of inspired me more because he was a young player and like he was getting out of wood records. So I wanted to do so, but also younger. So
Yeah.
I think that pushed me to play Tetris a lot.
So you were like 10, 11 around that time, right?
I believe so. I think I was yeah, I think I was 11 years old at that time, and I think I believe so. Yeah.
So you picked up an emulator, and what kind of playstyle did you play on keyboard? Was it dance or was it hypertapping?
So I was very competitive, and that I chose level 19 a lot. And when I was holding down the pieces, I just did not like it because it was too slow, and I had no control of it. So my initial thought was hypertapping because I hypertap in a game called Minecraft, so it would like help a lot if I use it in Tetris. So
Yeah.
I think I just picked on hypertapping and I never dash like from there then on.
So when did you switch to original hardware?
I believe I switched to original hardware somewhere around like September, October of 2020. One, I think it was like right before the championships, like a month before the championships, because I was not like recording on emulator because of lag, and I was trying to find a way to uh I think I was trying to find a way to play into the championships because they didn't allow the emulator, so I gotta practice the console, and yeah, I think I picked on a lot before then, yeah.
What was your PB right around the switch?
I think my PB was around like 1.404 if I can remember. Um, I didn't like I don't remember having like the a really like large tapping PB like 1.5 or like 1.6. I think it
Yeah.
was 1.4, and that was like yeah, I think I did yeah.
So that's like 2021 when you switched.
Yeah, a late fall 2021, like I think fall, early fall actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So the end of 2020, you played your first match ever was a brawl or a gauntlet match, one of the two. And then your first tournament that you played, you qualified for Challenger Circuit, CTM, and you won that event. Like the first tournament you ever played in, immediately a win. That was on an emulator.
I believe so. I think I lost the classic Tetris Brawl to Tetrisaurus, one of the younger Tetris players. But after that, I practiced a lot, and I did win my first classic Tetris Monthly tournament, on Challenger Circuit. But then I proceeded to get destroyed by Nenu in Masters 3-1, I believe.
A month later, yeah. But also a record that you broke in 2020 was the one of the youngest maxouter. Was that? Did you know that at that time that that was a goal or a like something that you could achieve?
I believe I asked in CTM like, what's the youngest wood record? Like, I'm not sure what they said, but I'm pretty sure like it was gonna be wood record if I was going for it. I think someone said like it was dog, like 12 years old or something. So I was immediately like, okay, I'm gonna play some more because this world record is like achievable, and if I don't like play too much, then the world record is just gonna stay there. So I kept practicing, and I think a day after grinding for it, the max out, I got it, and I was like, oh my god, this is my first world record. I think I'm getting somewhere now. So I
I
think
mean,
that
yeah,
motivated me.
you started with the earliest PB that you inserted in the PB ball was like an 880K, and then on the same day, UTC wise, I don't know if it was the same day in for you, but like on the same day UTC wise, you got a 960K, and then immediately the max out.
Yeah, I believe it was like a large jump. I think I uploaded an 830, then I got like a 910, but I never uploaded it. Then I think I just immediately like it looks like I skipped 900K, but like I Yeah, I got the max out. Yeah.
But right now, we got players that are 8 getting max outs. Like Xenon, 8 years old, getting the max out. And it's like, my daughter is 5. Like I said, in 3 years, she can maybe perform a max out. I don't know with me as her father. Don't think that's very likely. And I don't expose her to classic Tetris that much. But it's still mind-blowing to me that we come from a game that is being playing by white middle-aged guys. And now, since Joseph, it's really a teens game. Like players 13 to 2021, they are absolutely dominating the game. Few exceptions that are higher. And it's so fascinating that everyone is getting younger and younger. And now we have someone who's 8 getting their first max out.
Yeah, I believe like Joseph was a big part of the reason why like younger team Tetris players started picking on, because I think before then it was just like old Tetris players like 20s and the 30s. So if someone young was playing, it was like gonna be like, and they're like outlier. So I don't think like they would play. So I
Yeah.
think Joseph, like being young and just winning the championship, made a large impact and just gave a reason for the younger Tetris players to pick on.
Have you ever played against Joseph?
I believe so. It was like in March of 2021. It was in Masters. I believe I beat him in 3-1, and I think another time was in CTWC where he beat me 1-3. I believe so. Yeah.
So it's still that even though now you look back, essentially Joseph, the era of Joseph, like a small era if you compare it to Das that was like 2010 to 2017, and outward rolling from basically 2021 until present day. And I think unless we get a better play style, which I don't think is possible, but I mean, maybe in a few years, we'll look back at this, at my quote, and was like, okay, Frank is very wrong. Frank is very wrong. It's like that is a basically transition era, but he made so much impact into the scene and being a role model for those younger players.
Yeah, I do agree that he was like ahead of the game. Like, I don't think anyone could have topped him like during 2021 or even 2020, because he was like really dominant. And I think the other person that could have beaten him was Corian, and that was just before rolling was introduced, and everyone was just hyper tapping. And I don't think anyone could have reached his level. I think he was getting like way more 1.3 million scores during that time before anyone
Yeah.
else could pick it up.
So you switched from emulator to hardware around like July, August 2021. Rolling has been introduced, but you decide to go for the hypertapping playstyle. Why is that?
When I first picked up rolling, like did not play well at all. Like that was so hard to learn for me. I think I had a lot of rotation mechanics and like the D-pad, like control. It just was really difficult to pick it up, and I was already good at hyper tapping, and rolling was at that time was not like at its peak. So
Yeah.
like I could have like still beat them because they didn't have like much like impact into kill screen. They could get like on some like high taps and all, but I don't think they were like at its best. So
Yeah.
I think my hyper tapping could still beat them at that time, which gave me the confidence to just stay with hyper tapping and just not roll as much as hyper tapping.
Well, you're considered one of the fastest hypertappers ever to play the game. What made you that you could hypertap that fast?
I That's a good question. I think beforehand I was just playing a lot of games that require tapping, like Minecraft, and just like I don't know, just practicing my clicks, like I guess. There isn't like much to like explain how I got so fast. I think I just kept like putting my hand into clicking and tapping, which made me more faster because I think
Yeah.
originally I was like slow. I was slow at that point.
But still, getting a 1.4 like on emulator, and you got it very soon after, like a year after you got a rollover. Corian in his high days, and Corian is considered a slow tapper, but even Joseph in the high days couldn't get past the 1.3.
Yeah, I think it was just a matter of just a lot of playtime and like just stacking. I think my speed like played a large role because I was a really aggressive player and I was just stacking and I was topping out early. But when I got the good pieces, I could
Yeah.
use my speed as an advantage to use those good pieces to get a good score into kill screen and then play past the kill screen. So I think
Yeah.
that helped me get a 1.4 in the long run.
But now looking back with all the knowledge that we have right now, did you wish that you started picking up rolling earlier, or are you still happy that you fought as a hypertapper against early roller players?
I was more satisfied with hypertapping until I think like rollers all of a sudden we got 1.5 million scores, which kind of scared me in a way because I don't think I had the capability to do so at that point of time. So I was eventually getting scared over time, and after January, rollers like were going past level 40. January 22, I meant. Everyone was going past level 40, so I knew the rolling was like switch was inevitable.
Yeah. So back to 2021, you played Classic Tetris League, and you don't play a lot of Classic Tetris League. And in 2021, you had the perfect season. And it was old school Classic Tetris League. You only played the division, was not the playoff system that we know right now. You were in a division with Nenu, with Huff, with Scarabosa, with Hydrant, dude, and with BV. And you got the perfect season, 10-0.
Oh, I don't like really remember it much, but I remember I believe I beat Nenu in the finals for level 36. I think at that time I didn't have much of expectations, so I think that played like really greatly into my games because I thought I was gonna lose because these are all already top players, and I don't think I had much comp experience at during that time. So
Yeah.
I think I was like just going to the match, just knowing that I'm the underdog, which made me didn't like nervous a lot. It didn't make me nervous a lot. So
Yeah.
I just played through, and eventually I won, which made me happy. And I guess it kind of pushed me to knowing that I could actually win the championships if I tried.
Yeah. So a little later, CTWC around the corner. It's still online, 2021, last year of the pandemic era. You qualified, but you qualified midway to the fields. Like, were you satisfied with that qualification?
I believe I got all my max outs in the first hour. I think it's 3 max outs before into the quals. Going into the second hour, I was just like, I don't know what was going on. I felt like I should have gotten more. I think I was just having struggle with my mindset as it was the championships, and I think everyone thought I was gonna be a top contender, which just kind of made me nervous. I was
Yeah.
also fooling around at that point because well, you saw that one clip. There was a one clip of me like just spamming juice box on my table, so I was just not taking it seriously and just messing around, which also played like a role in just messing up like my game.
I mean, when are you not messing around? Honestly.
I think it's always in the competitive matches. I don't like I shouldn't troll as much. I only troll is like a qualifier or it's just for a reaction. So yeah.
Yeah. Your signature is messing around on camera, throwing stuff, breaking stuff, throwing whatever that is near you, throwing Parmesan cheese on yourself, throwing milk on yourself. Like, that is, if I think of LXT, it's like amazing, high class, world class Tetris player, major goof.
Yeah, I do it for satire, and like I just want to get like people's reaction into the matter because I just want like I just want to troll around and just get some attention. and just make people like question what type of Tetris player does this type of stuff. So it was like it was pretty comedic, and I would do it again just to make the crowd just go like, "What? What is this guy doing? Why is he doing that?" So I guess yeah.
Is everything planned out? Like if you think to yourself, okay, I'm in top 4 masses. If I win masses, okay, I have my Parmesan cheese ready to throw on myself.
I don't really have like a plan, like how I'm gonna celebrate my stuff. I just usually just like see what's on the table and what's in my room and just see what's in the refrigerator. I don't like really plan much. I just like just go into the celebration, just okay, I see that, I'm gonna just pour it down. I'm just gonna break that. So yeah, I think it was just all unplanned.
It makes for great content.
I believe so, cause I hope so, cause everyone should make a reaction because of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And you always get a reaction out of everyone.
Yeah, that's like my goal, and I would like to like make more by just like making it even worse. But it do comes with a downfall because I have to clean up. Like it takes 30 minutes to clean up, and I have to shower too. So it's like it's really bad.
But what is the origin of throwing Parmesan cheese on yourself?
I believe I just saw it in my table, and I was like, okay, it's there, and it's easy to like make a mess with it. Like it's not too big of a mess besides like eggs or just moving furniture. So I think I just chose to do it because it's the easiest, and it became like everyone just started making it as my signature thing. So I just kept doing it.
So you buy boxes full of Parmesan cheese just in case.
I don't buy it for a celebration. I usually just buy it just for like food. I don't like really buy stuff just for the sake of celebrating.
Has ever, like, CTWC 2024, we'll talk about that, but the celebration, a swimming pool, you being in a swimming pool, I believe your mom threw Parmesan cheese on you, Ben Mullen threw Parmesan cheese on you, Pompey did, Vince did, like, that went viral. Has a Parmesan cheese maker contacted you? Hey, I want to sponsor you.
The big company called Kraft hasn't sponsored me yet, but I hope so because I've been using their brand to celebrate my wins, and since I'm viral, they should sponsor me, which will make them great profits if they do.
Exactly. So 2022 comes around. You win in December of 2021. You win masses for the first time, and then January of 2022, you win masses again, and then February of 2022, you reach to the finals, but you face Cheese, Godfather rolling, and you lose. Was that the moment that you realized, oh god, I have to switch playstyles because I probably can't keep up with the rollers anymore?
I believe that's one of the big reasons why I started to like put consideration to switching rolling, because I believe one of the games he got like into level 40. I think he chased it down or level 36. He was getting. I think he had level 36 and level 40, which I can only got into level 36 at that point. So, and I wasn't like that consistent, and it was just really tough to keep up with him in kill screen because he had more like abilities to move pieces left and right.
Yeah.
So he kind of like showed me like, okay, rolling is way more powerful, and if you just know how to have control with it, you can actually do great things and like even surpass the kill screen in a lot of ways. So
Yeah.
he played a big factor into my switch.
So how did you pick up rolling? What was the first steps that you took?
Okay, people don't know this, but I switched like really early. June 2021, I saw the Game Scout rolling video, so I was like, okay, well, let's start trying this trial and error, I guess. Um, it didn't go too well, as I said, because of like mechanics. Like it's just too hard to learn the mechanics. But I do like rarely play. Like I kind of play like off stream, like just 29, just 29 only, because I think I want to be good at 29 if I have to learn rolling.
Yeah.
And also, I've been sometimes I would just in a match if I'm like in trouble, I would just try to roll and switch to hybrid like during 29, like if I'm high up. And I think I used that during the CTL finals of me and Cheese in January 2021.
Yeah.
Uh, I think I won it. Um, I I believe so, yeah. And then I think I just kept playing hybrid at that, like sometimes, like one like 10 games.
Yeah. So, but when did it click for you? When was you like, okay, I'm comfortable playing rolling in matches?
I believe I think in somewhere early 2022, I got a 1.7 million with rolling. I think I had a 1.53, so it was a large jump. And
Yeah.
also like showed that rolling can like make your scores jump large because you can like have pieces everywhere, score Tetrises, and like the scores keeps increasing. So I think I was like, I think it was probably April, I believe.
Yeah.
I switched to rolling, and I believe I got a good qualifier. And I think my first rolling match was in June of 2021 or July. I don't recall, but I think against Huff, I got like a 1.5 million score. So I was like beginning to like transition from stopping to hypertapping to like rolling.
Yeah.
Then I just keep practicing all over since that point.
And weren't you sad that you never got the tap rollover? Was that one of the goals that you had?
Um, I guess so because tap roller was really prestigious. I don't like think like I don't think like I would have gotten it because like my wrist, I think my wrist at that point kind of was hurting a little bit. So
Yeah.
I think transition to rolling was kind of better, and I had like a lot of thought like Mojo was gonna get it first, so a top rollover was gonna happen, which he did
He
get it.
Mocha did get it indeed. It was the first one. So, but Mocha playing with a very unique tapping style.
Yeah, he has like a multiple finger technique. I don't I don't have like a lot of like I'm not in anybody's side with how Moja plays. I'm more like neutral. Uh, he used like multiple fingers to like tap, and Joseph does that too. So like that in that sense, like he should also Moja should also be allowed to like consider hyper tapping because Joseph used the same technique, but just in a different like variant. Um, I don't like have like a huge argument with what Moja is hyper tapping or not.
But does it really matter? I mean,
Um,
tap nowadays is pretty much irrelevant. So
uh,
so tapping records are in my opinion irrelevant.
I believe so, cause it's just not up to me to decide. I think it's more into like the organization, like Vandy and like other staff and like other people that has like a larger voice. Cause I don't like like speak much like of like seriousness. So I'm not too sure if like Moja should be valid for like hyper tapping or in the top masters. So I think it's just up to other people.
So 2022 is the year of the big six. You, Eric, Fractal, Huff, Doc, and Andy. And you pretty much the only matches that you lost were against each other. And Grand Designs came up with the name popularized by a Game Scout made a preview video for CTWC 2022, which really focused on that big six. Were you surprised that you when Grand Designs found out that you only lost against each other, were you surprised that that was the case?
Uh, I wasn't that surprised because I already knew like I was getting crushed by the big six, and we I think I had a lot of confidence when I'm facing other players than the big six, so I think I wasn't as surprised as much, and like I kind of like just agreed to it, like oh that's cool and that yeah I think that's just how what I thought.
Yeah. So then CTWC 2022 came around. You had a pretty, I don't want to call it a mid-year, but nothing major happened pretty much in 2022, right after CTM Masters of February, where you lost the finals against Cheese. So then roll around to October to CTWC 2022, the first live CTWC since 2019. Like I said, Game Scout making the video, previewing CTWC, and you were really one of the favorites going into CTWC. Did you felt that way when you traveled to Portland?
I kind of I think I was like one of yeah, I guess I was one of the best, and I just kept that mindset because I think I was consistently getting into semifinals, and the month before CTWC 2022, I think I there was a tournament in CTM where the bracket was me and Dog and Andy was included, and I was able to beat both brothers in round one and round two. So I think I kind of believed I was like one of the best, and I could potentially win.
So qualifying came around, you qualified pretty good. Round one, you had a bye for round one, so immediately to round two, top 32, you win that. You move on to the next day, top 16, early Sunday, you got swept by Sidnav. Like, you got a max out game one, and then an early top out in game two, and like a 500k in game three. Was it nerves? Was it being cold that day, or what happened?
I don't have much of an explanation. I think and beforehand in the rental station, I was just doing really good. I think I got in like level 50 and like 1.5 million score. I think it was just probably pretty cold because it was actually really cold, and that's why in the semifinals you can see Andy and Fractal wearing like coats or jackets. I think that played kind of a role, and also I wasn't wearing a glove at that time, so like the coldness and my bare hands kind of played a role to me losing. I don't know what happened, to be honest. I think my mindset was also not there. And then Sinna was also playing good, dropping a 1.25 million score in the game one.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of factors that I think probably got me during that match.
So was it also how you changed then your rolling technique after that? That you started wearing glove, that you came more prepared for situations like that?
I didn't when I was in my home, it was not always cold, so I still kept with the glove. I still kept without gloves. I think I used a glove in December 2023. That's when I started picking that up. But usually my home was just like warm or like just good temperature. So I
Yeah.
wasn't like too concerned about the coldness. So I just kept on with the same like techniques I used in CTWC 2022.
But how was it traveling to Portland? It was the first live event. It was the first live event for you, like period, but also the first CWC back from the pandemic year. So how was it traveling to Portland and feeling that energy?
Uh, it was I think going to Portland, it just felt really strange because I never like went outside like far from for Tetris championships because usually I just go somewhere like just drive somewhere 10 to 15 minutes. I don't like I've never experienced this, so it kind of felt weird just going in person and just meeting all the new Tetris players too. Like it was just kind of strange experience because I never talked to them. So because I think it was past pandemic, and we were just all like online. So I
Yeah,
kind of it just kind of felt really strange.
seeing everyone in person, the ones that you're in the bubble with, but also the ones that you're not in the bubble with. You see everyone.
Yeah, it was just like, whoa, everyone is here and like we're all here for the same purpose to like either just talk to each other or just like win the championship. So
Yeah.
it was just like kind of we were all united. It just made me feel connected because I don't have like that experience before where like I'm around a lot of everyone that's connected in the same way like in Tetris. So
Yeah.
it just felt really cool and just like unique and strange.
How do you explain? I think now at home everyone understands what you're doing, but when you meet people for the first time, how do you explain like, okay, I'm a pro Tetris player?
Um I don't like really like just tell people that I'm the like good Tetris player. I think people like just immediately know because like I think I'm one of the most popular Tetris players out there. So I think like going into like tournaments, people probably wouldn't just know who I am. So there's like no need for introduction.
No, but day-to-day life, I mean, like getting to school, um uh, maybe whenever you if you have a job, going into your job with the colleagues or the schoolmates and all, that you need to explain to everyone who's new that you are a pro Tetris player.
In school, I don't really tell people that I'm a pro Tetris player. People might ask, like, my friends usually spread the rumor that I'm the like Tetris World Champion, and people just ask me like, who are you? Like, wait, how are you so good at Tetris? I usually just say like, I played a lot. I played since for 4 years and I have a lot of experience. And I explained like the rolling technique and why I use my foot and all. I think, yeah, and when it comes to like jobs and all, I'm just gonna just put in the resume. I'm the Tetris World Champion.
But it's like you are so extrovert, like so out when you play Tetris on camera in either a live event or at your home, and it's like you're it feels like you're so introvert when you're out in the real real world. Like, not, I would brag, like, I don't want to brag 24/7, but I would mention it a lot that I'm the world champion, or whenever I can, or when I'm introducing players, people.
I'm usually really humble. I don't want like speak out on everyone like, ha ha, I'm the Tetris World Champion, and look, and you just haven't done anything. I just let my friends just spread the rumor, and so like people can know. And I don't tell anybody I'm the world champion. I just let like the rumors just spread, and then if someone just come across and just talk to me, I'll just be answering all their questions. So yeah.
So what are the most common questions that you got?
Um, when do you play Tetris? How was the championships? What's rolling? Like, I see what you do with your fingers, but what is rolling?
Yeah.
Also, they asked me really funny, why do you use your foot for rolling? And it's kind of hard to answer because I could use my knee or like somewhere part of my legs, but why my foot? Because I'm just like showing my foot to the public. Why would you do that? So it was
Why
that
would you do
was
that?
yeah, it was just like I just didn't know how to answer that. I just said like it was like the easiest way to roll and like it has more control with my foot. That's why I use it. But like it just was really funny when people say that ask that.
But it, in 2022, the first time that you roll indeed on the bare foot. But can't you roll on wearing socks or when you're wearing shoes? Is there such a difference playing the role play style on a barefoot compared to wearing socks or a shoe?
Okay, so I tried to do an experimental with shoes, and when I used my shoe, the shoe was like too extended, so I couldn't like put the controller on my foot. It was just like it was just too hard to put it on because like the shoe was like wide, like wide, so I just couldn't put it on my foot. And when it comes to using stocks, I realized that my controller kept slipping out of my foot because like it's not like a rough surface, and stock is kind of like soft.
Yeah.
So it was tough to use both like shoe and sock, and it just did not work at all, and it had no success. I tried playing 29, and I got in like a few lines, but not like 100 lines.
Oh yeah.
So it just didn't work at all.
And putting the controller on the knee?
Um, that I sometimes just play with like the knee, just rolling. I have like 100 lines with it, so I'm no slouch with using it, but
Yeah.
I just don't find like comfort with using it. Because I have to switch my finger motions when rolling.
I feel like if you're playing a Tetris match and now with even with cap matches, the matches are like an hour long. So I feel like your feet has to be or your legs have to be very tired having that same position like for an hour.
Okay, so when I first started rolling, I always like did that. Like I always played for like an hour and two. Like my leg circulation like was just like even in CTWC 2022, my legs were just like so numb. It was just all the circulation was all gone there. But I think my foot just adapted to it all of a sudden. So I don't have that issue anymore. I think beginning it was like really like difficult, like because it was so hard to feel my foot, and it just felt really bad. But I
Yeah.
think it just gradually improved.
Oh yeah. So, but you because rolling is so young, we don't know what uh maybe hand issues can cause. Like, did you feel any pain before you when you started rolling, or now if you roll for a long time, do you feel any pain in the hands or in the wrist?
Back then, my rolling technique was not the greatest, so I don't think I had like any issue. But since I'm mastering my control, like my mechanics at this point, like long term, I got better with the motion, and when I play at a long time, my wrist just starts hurting. It just hurts a lot, and sometimes like my tendons is just like just feels really weird
Yeah.
when I play that a long period. But during like beginning of like my rolling arc, I just like didn't have much of an issue, and it was just more my foot. But it's transitioned from having foot like soreness to just like wrist issues because you just like roll long and just put your wrist more into exposure rolling hard. I think
Yeah.
that made it tough. And also I was playing double kill screen a lot, so that made it like even worse. And I usually ignore the pain, which you should not do. You should not do. But I ignored the pain, which made me like took like it took me out for like a few days. So yeah.
So, do you still feel the pain after a day or two when you're done playing rolling for a long time, or is it just an hour and then it's gone?
When I play like long streams, it would hurt, and it might take me like a day or two. Cause when I do the motion with rolling, it would just hurt. So I usually just wait a day or two and just start rolling again. But if it's like 30 minutes to 5 minutes, there's like literally no impact, and like I'll be able to play rolling like the next day.
So is it something that concerns you?
Um, it doesn't really concern me as much, cause usually I don't like really like push my wrist to like more pains. I usually know my like limits, and like I always like just like see how it feels. Um I usually I really don't like push it. I'm not concerned.
Yeah. So 2022, you lost to Stitnaf in the top 16. People claim that that is the start of the downfall for the Big Six. You were the first one to lose to someone outside of the Big Six, and then basically the Big Six became the Big 13, and now pretty much a lot of top Tetris players can win major events, CTWC, CTM Masters, CTL Division 1. Was the loss against Sydney, was that motivation to get better and hopefully come back stronger for CTWC 2023?
Yeah, because before CTWC 2023, I started like thinking and contemplating like what can I do to like not let the outdoor the in-person environment to get to me. So I was like making a lot of like a trial and error, like just trying to mimic that environment and all. So I guess it played like a large role. There's like a technique that I use now, which people don't know, but when I 5-roll in 18 and 19, I tapped and 4-roll, not like 4-roll and tap. So I adopted to that, and it helps me secure my 5-rolls.
So, and what are the changes that you made to try to mimic the in-person events?
I think I try to have like a audio of like a crowd and all, and I was trying to like put my chair in front of the TV. Usually I have it a diagonal to the TV, but
Yeah.
I put my chair like in front of the TV to mimic the position of the matches and all. I think also I kind of made the temperature a little bit cold just to let's see my hand could adapt to it and all. I think those were the big things that I try to do.
And switching CRTs?
Yeah, because it was really hard to play when you're transitioning to LCD to CRT. So I would try to continue to practice on CRT and not LCD because there is a huge difference with input delay.
When when did you play on LCD?
I played on LCD as soon I transitioned from um to emulator to controller because I didn't have a CRT and I my original thought it was expensive and it was because when I first bought my CRT it was like $50. So
Really?
I just kept using LCD and I think like at June actually, that was my first in-person tournament. It's SoCal or the Los Angeles tournament, and I played CRT and it was so difficult. So that made me like choose to switch to CRT because it was just really bad. It was just really bad, and that's what the championships use.
Yeah. And are you playing on an NES or on a clone console at home?
I use an original NES controller and console and like a large CRT, yeah.
Yeah. So some tournaments are using Retron or other clone consoles. Is there any difference in playing on original NES hardware or a clone console in-person tournaments?
There's like no difference with like the speed and all because that's just depends on the game cartridge. But I can see like the colors are really different when it comes to different consoles. Like I think Retron level 27 and 26 is like really dark, but when I use NES, like not dark, but it's kind of hard to see. I mean, level 27 is dark, and
Yeah.
when I use on NES, it's like a little bit better, and I kind of the brightness and like the saturationness is just better. So yeah, there's like a kind of a difference, but it's not too impactful for me. But I think it just depends on like harder levels like charcoal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Especially when you got to the glitch colors and got to the glitch colors more regularly. Like charcoal might be a difficult one to play on.
Yeah, charcoal is just like the pieces are black, which kind of blends in with the background and all. So I can like see why a lot of people like just hop out on that point. It's just really difficult because like there's like lack of brightness.
I absolutely hate the 7 colors. Like the 1727 colors. And especially in Europe, we can play NTC Tetris on PAL CRTs. like modern late 90s, early 2000s CRTs, but those are in black and white if you want to play NTSC. So the 7 colors are so dark on that now I'm not a very good player, so I start the games on level 15, so I have to play on 17 or like on 27, and it's like I really want to get out of that level so freaking bad and go to 18 so my fields get much brighter.
Well, I didn't have much of a hate for level 27 because my like TV like flashed it like kind of good enough, so I don't have like any vision problems. But I kind of hate level 6 because I don't like the grayness. It's kind of like dull to me. I just don't like it at all. Every other level I just like love the colors, but the level 6 scheme, something to me, it just freaking sucks. I just do not like it at all.
I made a short video a couple of weeks ago, like my top 3 colors, and like it was level 4, the 14 colors, like Christmas, level 2, the pink one, and 8 because it's classic.
Oh, nice. Mine's kind of similar. I like level 24. Yeah, I like the Christmas-ish. I also like level 25 because like the green, it's just kind of bright. I like that a lot. And also I like level 19, the sharp orange, because it's just kind of just feels satisfying to me.
Whenever I see the level 9 colors, it's always a wall of death for me, even if it's 19 stars or level 29.
Oh yeah, people can like just like consider it as level 29 because it is the level 29 colors and it's kind of infamous. So I believe, yeah, I get what you're talking about.
What are the most difficult colors to play on glitch colors?
Um, well, two big ones is Dusk. If I can recall, that's like level 146 and 161, 212, and Charcoal. Charcoal and other variants of it. There's like I think there's like a green black version of Charcoal.
Yeah,
Uh, so it's just big, like it's just like the big reason is just those two, because like they're really hard to see. It just blends in with the background, the black, so it's just kind of hard to see,
yeah.
and I just don't really like it. And I try to change my brightness settings just because of that, and I just never got into work.
Oh, really? Oh my. But I think if you change your brightness settings just for those 2 color levels, the other color levels will be very bright.
Yeah, that's the thing that I just don't like the other colors just being really, really bright. So
Yeah,
it just did not feel good and satisfying in a way. So
I
I just
get
kept
that.
it.
So what's the highest level that you ever gotten?
The highest level I got in was level 235. Um, it was really I think I went from level 161 2 ish to level 235. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's 20 levels before rebirth.
Yeah, I believe so, but level 235 has 800 lines, so
Yeah,
it's actually like more a little bit far than the 200 lines from the 20 levels. So there's
true.
like way more into it.
Yeah. I mean, I can imagine if you have to play 800 lines on one level. It would
Yeah.
be nerve-wracking, boring, and thinking about what am I doing.
Well, yeah. Well, I forgot to mention this, but level 235 is also a hard color, not because of its brightness, but the way my CRT like interprets the colors is kind of like I don't know how to describe it. It's like fuzzy. It's like the colors are just blending in together. Like it's not the
Yeah,
background. It's like a little bit fuzzy because my CRT, I don't think they can handle it. So that's a big part why it's hard to see level 235. But
yeah,
also playing for 800 lines when you already played so far, that itself it just sounds really tough and it might get people like off balance. So it's like
yeah,
that aspect is just the hard to see, and just playing for 800 lines when you're already so tired playing 2,000 lines of Tetris. It just makes it one of the most difficult challenge ever.
Oh, absolutely. And I can imagine if you conquered the 800 line level, you are 20 levels away, 20 levels away from rebirth. And still you have to keep focused because it's still 29 speed. And still, even for rollers, I think, a misrep can be fatal.
Yeah, getting to bug color is already like a remarkable achievement, and you're making it pass closer to rebirth. That's like the most insane like
Yeah.
achievement ever. So of course your heart rate is gonna spike up to like a 180 and all. Like you're just all nervous and all. So, like because this achievement is so prestigious,
Yeah.
and just getting to there would sound amazing, and it would like hit the Tetris news a lot, or like it makes the Tetris like scene like it'll hit it a lot.
I mean, I can't imagine the stress Doc would have felt conquering the 800 level, and then getting closer to rebirth, and then knowing that you're on the final level before rebirth.
Yeah, for me, I was expecting Dog to top out somewhere in the midst of level 235 because it or itself is just really tough and not much people have gotten there, so he probably would have gotten nervous at that point. But
Yeah.
he kept playing, and he was able to make it out of level 235, which just made me was like, oh my god, he can actually do it. And I'm pretty sure I was like probably more nervous than him because I really wanted him for to get Reaver.
I mean, I think Doc was in a zone, but if you're watching it, like, oh, I didn't watch it live because it was in the middle of the night for me, and I was waking up for a lot of everyone pings on the various Discord servers that Dog had conquered Rebirth, but I was like, oh my god, I really, really, really wanted to watch this live.
Oh yeah, at that point there was a spike in viewership. I believe there was like 1,000, 1,200, 400, also 1,400. So everyone was just there. It was just a large spectacle for everyone because this is like uncharted territory, and being like past the world record, that just like clicked in like, oh my god, he could actually make the biggest history, even like
Yeah,
more crazier like achievement than what Blue Scooty has done. So it was just a protect like the best view ever.
yeah, but it's completely fit the story that we have for 2024 in classic Tetris.
Yeah, I believe 2024 is like the golden age of Tetris right now because I think there's a lot of achievements that's just getting like demolished and like no, we have Noah Dangler with all the pace wood records just getting crushed. We have like players just lining out for rebirth, and we have Sidnav and like Dog and Tristop just optimizing the 39 line cap, and we have me, Scooty, and Dog just also dominating the not like the longevity of no line cap. So it's
Yeah,
just everything is just optimized.
yeah, and but it's still competition play is as I mean best as I've ever seen. Sitnev getting her first win, Miles winning Masters for the first time. It's like, oh my, it's so it's better than 2024. It's impossible.
Yeah, I think like Fractal's beginning of a streak in for January, February, March kind of was a good reason why players started getting better because the Fractal was so dominant and he was able to get like pieces all over and just dropping high scores.
Yeah,
So everyone was just like, okay, it was possible to get to that level. I just need more practice, and
yeah,
everyone was just like just self improving, and I think like everyone was just pushed to the high ceilings, like way more than 2023. Literally anyone in Masters today in 2024 could like win CTWC 2023. Like there's a huge skill difference.
yeah, yeah. And I think everyone in 2024 would have obliterated everyone in 2022 CTWC.
Yeah, I believe so too. But I think Fractal that like CTWC was actually like a monster. So I think he would be able to keep up.
We'll be back with the conversation in a minute. But first, join the Classic Tetris Monthly Discord server. The Discord server is the main hub in Classic Tetris, and you can qualify for the monthly tournaments ranging from Masters event to the community tiers. Go to our link tree to join the Discord. Subscribe to the Peace Dependency Podcast YouTube channel. The first 32 episodes of PDP are available at full length, and new original content will be released in the next coming month. Follow Peace Dependency Podcast on the socials. Hit the link tree to follow us. Do you have a suggestion who you want to see next on the show? Let me know on the socials, or join our PDP Discord at bit.ly/PDP Discord and tell me there. Now, let's go back to the conversation. We mentioned 2024 already, and we're gonna talk about it because you said Fractal had a streak early this year, early 2024. I believe you had a streak after Fractal. We're gonna talk about that. But 2023, Mega Masters, that final against Tommy and TG, one of the best matches ever. It had a slow start. It had a really slow start, like not in my opinion, not Mega Masters finals worthy. Sorry to say it, but like those first two games in Mega Masters, 900Ks both. Game 3, 460. Game 1 was a 900K. Game 2 was a 460K. But then game 4, double rollover, 12,000 points difference. Like it's like, what is happening?
Well, yeah. It was really slow, and like I was expecting Tommy to win because I wasn't playing as well as I'd done in the earlier, and he was like playing amazing before the finals. He was dropping 1.5, 1.4. I think he took out like Sidnev. And he also took out Broden. Well, not Broden. He also took out Doge, who dropped the 1.5 and still lost. Yeah. And we were just both on a good run. And I guess it was just kind of tough for us in the beginning. I don't think we were expected to like get like top 2. So it was a kind of rough start. But I think we began to like pick up like the pace and just. Like we realized it was already a bad match, so I think we should just we should lock in and actually get better scores just to make the match more exciting. And he was already my good friend, so we just know that the outcome of whoever wins make a lot of money, 7,000. So we started picking on the pace, like just push each other and kill screen, and we dropped back-to-back world records, which is actually insane. First double rollover.
Yeah. And that 1.7 for you. Game 5 also double rollover. But I watched the match a couple of days ago, and like I said, 900K's top out for you, game 1 and game 2. The game 3, 460K for Tommy. It felt like after that game, you are with the back against the wall. You needed a reverse sweep. So like Tommy coming off a very bad game 3. I mean, you saw it in the eyes and in determination, body language, everything that, okay, let's go. Let's make those last 2 games memorable.
Yeah, because of course, as I already told you, like the prize pool was at a large peak at that time. Yeah. So we obviously need a good finals to top it all off of this like large tournament of like I believe it was like 64 players or something, and like it was just everyone was just watching, so we gotta make like a good match for everybody. So I think we actually tried our hardest, which we did.
Yeah, those last 2 games made it the match of the year candidate, and then coming off prize pool $17,777.77, highest prize pool till that date. You taking home 7.5 grand. Like I can imagine you winning the tournament. You come downstairs or in the living room or whatever, and you tell your parents, I just won 7.5 grand playing Tetris.
Well, yeah, I never gotten like a large. I think at most I got like 1,000, but this was a huge like a huge money like difference. And for me it felt like, oh my God, I'm actually like making like a career in this like industry of Tetris, and it was just I just felt like speechless that I made 7K off of
Yeah.
winning one of the biggest tournaments. I think that was the biggest tournament because it had like a large prize, the largest prize pool, for first place. So
Yeah.
it just felt meaningful to me, and it was also surprising.
You took home 43% of the prize pool. I think that was the year that the no max out left behind rule was intact. So it was not 64 players, it was like 78 players or something like that. But even like for a game of NES Tetris, taking home 7.5 grand is huge. You would have you were going to top it with CTWC 2024, but like even in the early days of Metro Arena, getting a prize pool of $1,500 $2,000 is so huge, and taking home $500 or something like that. I mean, for a game actually as small as NES Tetris, that is still big money.
Yeah, at first it was just no money. It was just you play, and if you win, you get the title of being a winner. But when players started picking the game up more better, I think Vandy and like Game Scout started to fund the tournaments. I think
Yeah,
the winner got $100 if they won. Then over the, since players got even way more better, there should be like a prize pool to incentivize like more players to get good because there's money on stake. So I guess that like there was a need to have a prize pool because the
yeah,
game was starting to be more competitive, and then kill screen is starting to get mastered. So there's just gonna be way more need a prize pool, and then they set up like a community fun prize pool for all the viewers. And I think that's why like a lot of players is just playing today.
do you think if we still have tournaments without prize pools, like if masses was without a prize pool, do you think that all the top players that are still playing today would have will still be playing today?
Um, for some players, they need like a partial income. For me, I need to like make money like because while in school, so it's kind of like a partial income for me. But
Yeah,
I think some players would not play because there's like like not for the title, but they need some form of money to like for their lifestyle and all. So I guess some players would just not play like as much or just not even play at all. So I guess like money like kind of like made people just like, ooh, I can make money while being in school because
yeah,
for me I can't have a job right now or yeah,
yeah,
so I guess money is good. Like money is like playing Tetris for money, like playing money for like getting money for your specialty is like like kind of push people to play.
yeah. And I feel like if you're in high school, you can still play NES Tetris, even if there wasn't a prize pool involved. But like the players that are in college, I think that they are continuing playing Tetris at this level or training at this level is because of the prize pools that have been involved in pretty much all tournaments that they are playing. CTL has now a prize pool. CTM has now a prize pool. All pretty much all regional events have prize pools. CTWC as a fan-funded prize pool. So I think like that Fractal, Mouse, I think Andy is in college. They all continue playing because of the money that they can win.
Yeah, but college is quite expensive, and like like players needs like a lot of money just to fund their college. So I guess like money it's gonna help a lot if they are able to win, and I think that's why like Andy, Fractal, and Miles use that as their advantage because Tetris is like like Tetris is like one of their best hobbies they can play, and I guess they need the money, so they're gonna be playing for it. So yeah.
So, what do you do with the money that you win? Do you put it in a savings account? Do you buy stuff that you really like?
Um, it's actually a mix of both. There are most of my money is just like into savings. But there is sometimes I use my money for in-game currencies. So I just use it for like mostly for the sake of just college and stuff because it's gonna be expensive and all,
Yeah.
and I don't want to use that for waste. But I do want to have a little some fun, so I buy some stuff from different games.
So, what are the games that you like playing outside of NES Tetris?
That's actually a good question. I play kind of like the generic games. I play Fortnite, Minecraft, and sometimes a little bit of Roblox. It's just a lot of generic games. Also Valorant too. I'm really competitive in that. So just a lot of like the in first person games.
Yeah, and is it a way to keep the mind off NES Tetris, or have not only playing NES Tetris as your main game?
I believe those other games just like it's just like alternatives to Tetris because I don't want to be burned out from Tetris and I need to
Yeah,
find like other interests in games to like not like lack the interest of Tetris. So I guess it's kind of like a distractor or like a break from playing Tetris too much.
yeah. All right. So 2024, it's like I said, the golden year of NES Tetris. It started in 2023 because of the game crash for Blue Scooty in December 21st of 2023. Then the games got a viral video that got released also in 2023, but went viral on January 2nd. Where were you when Blue Scooty got the game crash, and were you also trying to get the game crash?
Um, at that time, I adopted the glove, and I think it was I was also going for a game crash. I think before Scooty's crash, I had 1,000 lines, 1,100 lines on on the vanilla ROM, and I was going for it, but I didn't have too much success because it was a lot of like it was like I was like not having the best mindset, and also my hands were like really tired during that time from just playing for too long. So
Yeah,
I didn't had much of expecting that I was gonna be the first one to game crash, and it was like more like rooting for Fractal in the Scooties race because I will always watch their streams, and when they have look like a long run, I would just tell my friends and all. So I think I was just more of like a audience that time.
so but how do you think that the Scooty game crash changed Tetris early 2024?
Um, well, for me, I really want to get like a large achievement just to meet in the media because I just want to be like a person like in the media and all my friends be like, "Oh, he's the guy that beat the game with Tetris." I kind of like wanted to be in his like shoes. Like I was kind of jealous of it, but like it's fine, like and all. But it also shaped like the Tetris community because like yeah, it revitalized the like longevity runs because I don't think anyone was like in this mindset of going for level 150 or and all. It was just more level 39 line cap. So it
Yeah,
kind of revitalized everything, and people started practicing long runs with their endurance, which I think could also help them with like playing Tetris better, like in 39 line cap with like endurance and all. Or I don't know. It just I think it helped with the whole aspect of competitive and like plays, which started the golden age.
yeah.
Which yeah.
So Blue Scooty got the game crash first time. Fractal was the second one. Fractal dominated January, February, March 2024. Classic Tetris. Won Masses back three back. Won the Genesis qualifier. And you played against the Fractal three times in the finals during those 3 months, and you lost 3-0, 3-1, 3-2. So did you really thought, oh, God, what is this year going to be for me?
Well, yeah, you mentioned that Fractal had a dominant streak in the Tetris community, and like I, for me, it was just like like telling me that I could be in this level. I just kept practicing, so I started trying to practice more and more because like I want to be in that level of dominance. Like I think 3 month streak. Only two other people have gotten that before. Corian and somebody else. I'm not sure, or I think he was the second one actually. But it was just like a turning point for all Tetris players because everyone's getting pushed, and this one player is just winning it all, and so we need to find a way to stop him. So
Yeah,
I think it was
but
like pushing me and everybody.
I feel like that shifted when you got the 60 million world record. But first, before we talk about the 60 million world record, we gotta take it a day back. A 9.9 million world record, but it wasn't recorded. Like, what happened? Like, you can play so good NES Tetris, and that you get scores that over a rollover, double rollover. And we had it like last month controversy with Mecha Retro Man. Why didn't you record the games?
I didn't record the game because it was like a middle of 3 a.m. and I was tired and all. I was just playing for fun, and like I just didn't have much expectations like with like how I'm playing because before I was just early topping out like on 29 and 19, but then I just all of a sudden just found my groove, and I just not record when I just started popping off, and I didn't want to like pause in the middle of level 99 just to record. And also, I think my storage was just not like I didn't have enough storage to record during that time. So I just like was like, okay, I have a long run, but there's nothing I could do. So I'm gonna just keep playing it out. Then I got 9.9 million. What? Like that's just like I was like, oh my goodness, what have I done? Like
Was it an instant regret?
Yeah, because it was a world record, and there was a lot of publicity with getting world records at that time, like with the long runs. Like you can see Game Scout making 8.9 million, Fractal's Game Crash, Scooty's Game Crash, and like it just kind of made me like a little bit upset. Like
Yeah.
I should have recorded because I could have gotten like a lot of popularity.
But not only that, Classic Tetris also had the 10 million bounty. Like a weekly live stream, Pumpy Hard hosted that. And if the bounty wasn't claimed before May or something like that, the highest score would have gotten the bounty. And you got a 9.9. But you have no proof.
Yeah, I think I could have like I think the requirement was to stream, so even though I recorded, it would not have counted, and which would have made like there was a lot of things I regretted at that point because 9.9 being recorded like could have gotten popularity or even stream. I could have gotten the bounty and the popularity, but
Yeah.
I literally had nothing of that, which kind of like pushed me to even try harder because I was like I just like became a huge candidate other than Scooty, Gerald, Fractal, Andy, Dog. So it just pushed me to okay, I need to have a recording set up. So I made one the hour after getting 9.9, and I started trying to go I started being more incentivized to play more.
Was that really a wake-up call? Like, I need to record all my games or I need to stream every time I play Tetris?
It was actually a wake up call because my achievements, like, when I even get like a new PB, it's gonna be like a high ceiling PB. So, like, I can't like just unrecord things anymore. So, I
Yeah.
started like recording all my games because of that.
So, have you decided to share it, the 9.9? I can't remember if you did it before the 60 million world record. I think you did. But was there a moment that you were like, okay, I can't share this one, or I don't want to share this one?
I really didn't want to. I actually like really didn't want to share that. That was like like really just that's just gonna make a whole rabbit hole of just everyone just talking about should that count in the bounty or should that game count? He didn't record it, and that's a large world record. So I was just sharing it to my friends and the Game Scout privately, just to show, like, I don't know, just to prove like I was able to get 10 million if I tried, because that's 100K away from 10 million. So
Yeah.
if I just string up some games, I think I could get it 10 million. So I just really didn't want to share it. But one of my friends that I shared to, his name is Goose in Discord. He sent it to CTM just as a joke, and everyone was like, "Whose game is this? Whose game is this?" And then someone like just brought up, "That's Alex T's capture." So I was like, "Oh no, I got
Uh-oh.
it's gonna start a rabbit hole." So I gotta start streaming and start going for good runs to prove that I achieved that 9.9. I didn't cheat for it. So yeah, I started going for it.
Were you scared that there maybe was going to be cheating allegations?
Um, I mean, yeah, because it's a 9.9 million, and like everyone was like, everyone expected like all the pro players to record, and for this large, like monumental achievement, of course, there's a need and an expect of recording, so
Yeah.
it played like a big role.
So, how much relief was it that not even 24 hours later, you got a 16 point, what was it? 16.4? 16.4 million on a Tetris Gym version of NES Tetris. But like you didn't have to grind for another 9.9. You didn't have to grind for getting close to that score. No, you just obliterated the 9.9, and not even 24 hours had passed.
Yeah, that was a huge, unexpected moment. I broke air, like I just like got destroyed all the world records since Blue Scooty, and it just felt like really just shocking, and I just don't have much word to say afterwards because it went from 8. I think it went from 6.4 to 8.9 million. Then it shifted to 8.9 to 16 million. Like that's a huge jump. And the
Twice the
level
gap.
and the level went from 154 to 235. So
Yeah.
it was just insane. Just making that large jump, and it brought up the word or like rebirth more because someone can actually do it if they actually like played long enough. So
Yeah.
it just changed
So
everything.
it definitely changed everything, but you got the recognition, you got the bounty, you got the Game Scout video, and think those are the ones that you want to have. Like uh, being recognized for classic Tetris, maybe hopefully Tetris company itself recognizes you. That is a great achievement. But also Game Scout being the biggest content creator, if you have a specific video, topic video about your achievement, about yourself, more eyes on the product, more eyes on yourself. And I think after the 60 million world record, you got live streams of playing in front of 1,500, 2,000 people.
Yeah, it just became like a huge public celebrity in the classic touches field, which kind of made me feel like really cool and all, and also like kind of pushed me to start streaming more at that month because everyone was watching, and if I was able to get rebirth, that's gonna even like make my like trend of Alex T even more. So I kept trying to push that rebirth because there was a large stake into it, and I'm pretty sure if someone was gonna get rebirth, I'm the large candidate to go for it. So yeah.
Yeah. Did
Uh,
you? So you streamed a lot after 60 million point. You got a 16.7 a month later in April. Did you grow tired of aiming for rebirth and always falling whenever you got to level 235 or somewhere in the glitch colors?
uh, I started like getting burnt out from Tetris streaming, and like once I made like like a long run, it was just like getting really tiring because my hand is starting to hurt and all. So it was kind of a lot of like just health issues and like just the mentality of it. Like just playing long is just really tough, and like you're just stuck staring at a screen for like an hour. So that's just like the hard aspect of Rebirth. So
Yeah.
yeah, I eventually like burnt out from it, streaming too much and playing too much, that to a point where I just had to take a break. Like yeah.
So, but that break came August, September. You haven't played a lot of Tetris. Like you last participated in August, I believe, in CTM Masters. You play Death Masters right now, or the Death Circuit of CTM. Is that one of the reasons you took the break?
For July, I took a break from restreaming like Rebirth attempts because it was too much. But in August and September, uh, in school, I usually kept like stressing out. Like I kept thinking to myself, like, what am I gonna do in the semifinals of this match? Or like, how am I gonna play in the round two of like Gerald Freeman versus Alex T? So like, Tetris kept being stuck in my mind of competitively, which like made it unhealthy because I was like already like a champion, and I like won 3 months of CTM. So like I was like just like kept thinking what am I gonna do, which like
Yeah.
made it so unhealthy mentally, and like there's not after being a champion, there's like nothing to do because like you like beat everybody, and now you're the
Yeah.
best in the world. So that's why like I took a break since like between August and September.
And we'll talk about your magical run from pretty much March to July. But now you're still on that break. You're still taking a little bit low.
I'm enrolled to some tournaments. I just qualified for CTM November, and I'm also in CTL. But right now, I'm not playing as much, and my controller is just not in the good works right now. So I'm busy trying to like analyze and just like fixing my controller so I can get back to like playing normally.
But isn't that frustrating? If you're having that dominant 4 or 5 months and then you're taking a break and now the controller just maybe doesn't want to work, uh, has no inputs. You, like you said, back Masters winners, CTWC world champion, and now you're getting back to being back to being humble and back to being placed with both feet on the ground and back to having pretty much a reality check.
Yeah, that's a reality check that like you can't always become the best, and like there's someone that's gonna take over because like you're not gonna always be like a champion at what you do, and that's
Yeah,
what happened to me and Blue Scooty, where Blue Scooty is just somehow improved instant like quickly and just like took my spot of being number one and even got first in the premier poll. So it just showed me like okay. I can't always be the first, and bad bad gameplay is just not gonna justify it. So it kind of
yeah.
made me more humble and make me feel more of a sense of being the underdog because I'm not gonna be playing my best, and it's more like Blue Scooties has more pressure now.
But it's funny to say, how can you be an underdog if you are a world champion?
That is true. Being like considering myself as an underdog while being the champion, that just both doesn't correlate each other. But like, I think for me, my standards, I just get a sense of being an underdog with how I'm playing right now. So I think that is gonna help me with playing competitions more, and maybe it'll get me to win back more CTMs once I actually fix my controller.
So the plan is now undergo that reality check, fix the controller, and then aim for 2025, like this year, competing in Mega Masters in whenever they're gonna held it, March probably. So like top 4 Mega Masters, and then maybe winning Masters regular and hopefully defending the title in 2025.
Yeah, and that's gonna I have to practice way before 2025 in the long term because I'm the defending champion for next year, and I also have Mega Masters. The prize pool is gonna obviously gonna be at large. Of course, if I wanna have wanting to win that, I gotta keep practicing. So that's gonna be motivating me as like one of the top players to keep practicing and just to win the large prize pools.
Yeah. So Fractal had a dominating run the first 3 months of the year. I think you had a dominating spring in Classic Tetris. March with the world record, April, May, CTM Masters wins, June, CTWC win, July, Masters win. Like 4 or 5 months of Alex T being at the top. Fractal coming close second, but Alex T pretty much dominating the second quarter of 2024. Did you feel when you walked into Pasadena that you were the big favorite for the world title?
Um, Uh, I guess so because I think when Fractal lost his streak of like winning CTM and he started like having some cracks in his gameplay, I think I became like the replace holder for like his dominance. So and I was also in a 2 month streak of CTM. It was just gave me like, okay, I can actually win this, but I gotta actually not let my like mindset and just what I've been doing in the previous CTWC, like losing like in just ways, and it was just I was just trying my hardest to prepare myself for this because this I think this is the third year in a row that I'm the favorite to win, and it was just I just didn't want to let that like pattern of just losing like early. So I think I put a lot of practice and emphasis on the game at that point.
So, what did you do like the weeks leading up to CTWC in terms of practice, in terms of getting your head in the right space?
Well, of course, we need to have like space intervals of like just not playing the game too much because that's gonna like make you tire out. And also, I was getting more interested in the game when I transitioned from going for Rebirth to level 39 line cap because the game is gonna take shorter, and then I can start playing aggressive, which going for Tetris is pretty cool and kill screen wise. But also, I had a glove which helped me with like if I had cold hands or not, and it helps me with like getting rid of the aspect of just having a cold environment, just like making my game worse. And
Yeah.
also, I try to not fix my controller too much because if I keep like adjusting the controller, it's gonna eventually wear out, and I'm gonna not have like anything to play with going to the tournament. So there was a lot of like precautious and safety measures that I had to take.
So, with what feeling did you walk into Pasadena? Like top 16 in 2022, top 8 in 2023. Was it I want top 4, or was it I need the win?
Okay, so the pattern of me losing in championships just made me like doesn't have much expectation of winning it all. So ultimately, my goal was getting to the top 8, as it's not too big of a deal if you're gonna lose, like or you're gonna lose like deep into the tournament. But if it's like top 16 or like round 1, that's just gonna like just make me like feel like, oh, I should have done better. I'm so bad at this game. But getting top 8 just sounds really cool. Like I was in the top 8 of CTWC 2024. I feel like that title was just really cool, and I just really wanted to get that at least.
So, how do you think qualifying went for you?
Um, okay, going that tournament, I said like before the tournament, I said like I was gonna fix the controller, but going to the tournament, my controller was actually like double flipping, and I was just not having good mechanics going for 429 play. But I think I did really good. I got like 12 or something max outs, and with a bad controller and all. But I couldn't play 29 as much, so I couldn't make up the potential max out games where I topped out like in the middle of 29. But I think I did relatively well with my bad controller and just playing efficient on 18 and 19. But
Yeah,
yeah, it did go well.
it's different, like playing for the million points than getting a 1.5 or 1.6.
Yeah, because like max outs has like you can get it way before the kill screen, but 1.5, like you're not no dangler and all, but like you have to like play it so efficient, and you have to play kill screen too if you want to get 1.5. So there was like no kill screen, much of a kill screen aspect when it's going for max outs, and even that players can get it. So it's just possible.
Is it knowing that it's max out that are counting and that dash plays can get it and that the hyper tappers that are still there can get it? Is it scary that if you have a bad day like Andy had during qualifying, that you get into the lower part of the bracket or might fall out of the bracket?
I wasn't too scared of making like I wasn't too scared of falling out of the bracket because I think in my capabilities it was I think the cutoff was like 4 or 3 max outs. So if you just like played really safe, even if you get bad RNG or like just not get the greatest RNG, there will be games like where you can just burn it out and just like get the max out. I think it was just possible for me. Yeah.
But it feels like I said, I think you qualified fourth on the list. But even if you get outside of the top 16 as LXT, that should be considered as a bad qual.
Yeah, it may deem like people might deem that as like smurfing, but uh if people like just ask like why I did so like bad, I'm gonna just like answer like my controller was just not like well, and like I wasn't in the great mindset, or just make some excuse or like some form of excuse. I think I had like a valid reason, just saying my controller was just not working, and you can see I was double flipping in the
Yeah,
qualifiers, which make up for it.
but I find it funny that it's if you were to qualify outside of the top 16, you had to play a round 1 matchup. How is that smurfing? Like you have to play a whole match where you can be eliminated.
Yeah, it was like like if I were to like qualify like very low, it would have been like more like how Andy like what champion run would gone like. I would have just made it past round 1, but I'm gonna like might lose round 16 or something like that.
Did you try to fix the controller between qualifying day on Friday and Saturday?
Okay, after qualifying, I was like kind of telling like players that I was having controller issues, and they all like told me to talk to Eric because he had like really good pads and he can make your controller work. Which I confronted Eric, I believe in before after round 1. Wait, actually, yeah, I think I confronted Eric after round 1 that I was having controller issues, and he gave me like new pads, like new like kind of new upgraded pads for my controller, which I started testing out and it started working, and I was able to get like a really early level 29 start max out. Yeah.
But weren't those pads really stiff?
I told Eric like what type of pads I loved. I think I told him I wanted like a semi-sensitive pad, and like the rotations should be like really. I said like mushy pad, and I want like a quite sensitive rotation pad. So I just like made be specific and just like told him what I wanted.
So pretty much. So that was after the first round. So that was before your match against Aaron.
I think Aaron was my first round, and I think it was a match before Sodium top 16.
So you played the match against Aaron with the bad controller.
Yeah, I believe so. I was really scared, but he was a tapper, no offense, so I was like a little bit confident that I could do this. But there were some controller aspects that made my board like not too great, but I pulled through.
So you switch paths between the match against Aaron and the match against Sodium. Had you a chance to practice those paths?
I believe so. I think someone like there was like a free. Actually, someone like gave me like a Tetris station. Like they were like done for warming up for Tetris, and they were doing a match. So I got in a lot of preparation, just playing 29 transition trainer, and I was also playing 18 start just to make sure like the paths were good enough for 18 and 19. So I did get a lot of practice.
Yeah. So your top 16, your top 30, no, it's your top 60 match was against Sodium. Sodium to me always feels like I can go two ways with Sodium. Like, what were you thinking when you faced off against Sodium?
Okay, so before the match, I saw his round one opponent, then V versus him, and I think he dropped like two 1.3s, and he got like good scores. And there was a match where there was like double kill streak, I believe. So he was already like picking off like from a good match. So I was a little bit nervous, and like he had like the potential to get like really good scores, and even made it to 39. And it was just kind of scary for me because I was still like trying to adapt to my new controller, and like if he just played a lot of like good plays, he could actually beat me, and I was like really like just nervous, yeah.
But it was pretty easy match, 3-1 win.
Um, for the first two, I think I was able to like just had the lead into kill screen, which made him top out pretty early. But game three, I was actually having like struggles on kill screen, and I gave him the win. And in going to game four, he had like a large lead. So my mindset, he could actually like beat me. And like in context of the match, I was like really nervous, and like my controller was not like as adapted. So it was just really bad for me, and he could have beaten me during that match.
Yeah. But you won. You moved
Uh,
on to the quarterfinals against DMJ. DMJ isn't playing a lot of online tournaments, plays a lot of live tournaments. So is used to in person, different CRTs, different environments, small crowds, big crowds. Did you know that? And what did you thought when you saw that you had to face off against the DMJ?
okay. In I believe everyone's prediction was I was to face Huff in a top 8. But when I watched the top 16 match with Huff and DMJ, I was like, oh my god, DMJ actually won. So like I thought it was a huge upset, and like no offense to DMJ, I thought that was like literally a free ticket to top 4. Uh, so going to the match, I was pretty confident, and I was able to like adapt to my controller like the best I could, and like I was just like, okay, this is a free ticket to the top 8, maybe even wait the top 4, and maybe even top 2 because wait no, not top 2 because at that time Tristop upsetted Fractal, but also had to face Scooty, and I thought Scooty was
Yeah.
gonna win.
But do you think your quarterfinal matchup would have been different if you were to face off against Huff?
Um, I would have like been more nervous to face Huff because I think Huff was like coming back. Like he was retired, but he was coming back as a stronger Tetris player, and he could pull off like amazing scores. And I haven't seen much of DMJ's like high play, so it was more like okay, he just like probably got lucky,
Yeah,
and so I just like was confident. But if it was Huff, I would have put like I would have like put like more nervousness into my gameplay because
yeah.
it was a really high contender to also win.
So you moved on to the semifinals. You swept DMJ 3-0 victory. You had the you had to play either Tristop or Blue Scooty. You mentioned Tristop defeated Fractal. That was an upset. But then in his quarterfinal matchup, he also defeated Blue Scooty. And like, on what fairy tale run is Tristop being right now? Like, okay, and now he has to face Alex T. He defeated one game crasher. He defeated two game crashes. Can he defeat the third one? Were you nervous for the game against Tristop? Like, he already defeated two of the best players in 2024.
Okay, I was really nervous. Like Fractal versus Tristop didn't have much of a high score, so I thought Tristop had a really lucky just had a really lucky games, and like he didn't win out of the water. But when I saw Tristop versus Scooty, he was getting 1.5s. Like what? He was just dropping 1.5s and just taking out like Scooty's games of high play, and I was like, oh my goodness, I could actually win it all. He was dropping
Yeah.
1.5s while at that time I was just dropping 1.2, 3, and maybe sometimes like just once. Wait, I think like once 1.4 with DMJ. Uh, so like he was like on a huge run, and he could actually beat me because of his skills. So that made me put more emphasis on practicing, and like I was expecting that he could have gotten 1.6. So I was just putting way more practice into consideration because of Tristop.
But at game one, between Tristop and yourself, double 1.5. Like, we knew immediately that we were going to watch one of the greatest matches in CTWC 2024.
Yeah, that killscreen duel battle was actually that was my best game of CTWC currently. Like that was my currently the best game of my CTWC run at that time. I didn't have like any good run, so I think that was like the highest score I got in, and which like was really that made me realize, okay, I have the capabilities to beat Tristop, but could I pull through though? Because like I realized I was able to adopt to my controller, and like I can get good Tetris like scores if I just keep going at it and just playing it right. So it was just like it made me think, okay, I could actually make it to the finals or win it all if I just keep playing it like like the way I'm doing it. So it kind
Yeah.
of motivated me.
In what way, if you get a 1.5 game one and then you're good enough to win the game, the next game with just a max out 1.0, what kind of different game is that game if you're coming off a high scoring game?
Okay, that of course when it's like a high score game, going into games like the next game, people like the Tetris players are going to be nervous, of course, from adrenaline and like the crowdness, like because like going into the 1.5 games, you can like really hear the crowd going like, "Oh my God," and like a lot of yelling. So it also like makes the Tetris player more nervous, and also it also like makes the Tetris player push harder because if you lose, you realize you have to play even better like than what you're doing to win this whole set. So it
Yeah.
was just more pressure, and it was also a lot like it was just a lot of intenseness because like like it's just like a lot of strong kill screen. So you need to like play more stronger kill screen and even play more aggressive if you want to have a chance to win this.
Yeah. So then game three comes along. You win the first two games. You're on match points. You are ahead for pretty much the whole game. Going into kill screen, you are ahead. And then Tristop, you topped out level 32, and Tristop just lined it out. 35, got there, but it's like, did the nerves kick in? Were you thinking, oh my god, one more game and I'm a CTWC finalist? Or is it, even though you still got 1.2s both, and it's like, okay, it's still a high scoring game, but where did it go wrong?
I think I was getting way too confident that I could beat Tristop, because going into the set, I was like really nervous, and I had no expectation of winning this because Tristop was getting a higher score median than me by a lot. So obviously, I didn't have much of expectations. But going into Game 3, having a huge lead, it just made me like realize, okay, I think I can actually beat Tristop the way how I'm playing. No questions asked. And like I was like so confident, which I should have just told myself with my ego, like nah. But like I think I was like, okay, I think I can win this. Just gotta play safe, and I'm chilling. But then I just started like fumbling, and that took on Game 4.
Yeah, because Game 4, that was Tristop's game. I mean, only if he had an early top out or right after transition top out, you would have got a chance to win that game. But that game was Tristop's game.
Yeah. Well, Game 3 and Game 4, I was just like, okay, I can win this. I just gotta approach the kill screen correctly and just get those Tetrises. But like I started like just dying early on the kill screen. I was like, okay, well, I can't get too confident because I still need one more game to win, and Tristop could still make up for the games that he lost by dropping high scores. So I kind of turned back to being nervous, and like Tristop could win against the set. Like in Game 5, we just played like better.
Yeah, Game 5 was a phenomenal game.
Uh,
Those, I mean, pulling up the well during kill screen takes balls, but it's like you were so determined to, I want to become a CTWC finalist.
Yeah. I knew what was at stake, and I know the capabilities of Tristop, and I know he was not going down without a fight, the Game 5 resulted in 1.5 versus 1.6 million.
Yeah.
And like with the crowd going like just yelling like who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Both players are amazing, and like Tristop could reverse sweep, which would make the fairy tale of his journey even greater. And like Alexi going down, just being another like a puppet of Tristop, beating alongside with Fractal, Scooty, and me. So there was a lot of just pressure for both of us.
Yeah, even though you were ahead going into 29, you had like a 100k lead, but still you were both playing so clean that on the 29 speed that I think one misdrop from you would have resulted in a Tristop victory.
Yeah, it was like a lot of intense, and I had I wanted to really win that so badly. So with that, it was just any miss shot was just so scary for me, and I almost topped out on level 33. I made like a dead drop, uh, but like I got lucky and I got out of it as soon I misdropped. So it was just like really intense for me, and I just was like I was like self-consciousness like of all my placements and like what I could done like to get like a large score in like
Yeah.
during that game.
So you win the decider, game number 5, 3-2 win. You get rest because they played the semifinals played on a 1v1 screen instead of a 4-player screen. So the next game, Dark versus Dangler, and Dark cruises through the semifinals. Like, all respect to Dangler and the very great player, number 1 on the qualifying list, but he had no chance in that semifinals. So you know you're up against Doc, who cruised his way towards the finals. What is the thought that you had going into the finals, knowing all that?
Okay, so firstly, I really was not mad at all that I made this far because I told you my goal was top 8. So this is already a huge achievement for me in terms of competitive wise because usually I would not be able to make it that far because of like my not experience inexperience because I had a lot of experience, but more like the way I've been playing. So I'm already satisfied, but I was really pressured because I really wanted the finals to be a good match. So if I just played like topping out early on kill screen or just even topping out, that would just made me like mad because I was not able to prove that the finals was one of the best match.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of pressure there.
Do you think Doc felt the same pressure?
Um, I mean, Dog probably had like less pressure because he's been a lot. He's been. I think this is like his 5th semifinal in a row, and this is his 3rd final. So he has a lot of experience with the final, being in the finals. And I think he was coming off from like destroying his side of the bracket. So I think he had more confidence and like he was just dropping good scores beforehand. So I think he was like less pressured.
I get that it's his 3rd final, but the other 2 finals that he won was online. So it's still his 1st final in a live setting CTWC. So I think it's still different than playing in a final in a live setting compared to playing final in an online setting. And like you said, he's been top 4 in 22 and 23, but lost all the semis. So it's still, I think, still different feeling going into game number 1. And I think you could see that because Doc topped out at 757k.
Oh yeah, that was like the really unexpected moment in the game 1, and that made me realize I could actually win it all if I actually just. That was probably a bad game from him, but if I just like played how I did against Tristop, like pushing him, I think I could win. But then like on game 2, he's just played a monster as a monster.
Yeah, 1.4, like out of nowhere, coming so hard back from that game 1. 750,000 top out for a top player like that. Even if you got a 750k top out, that would be considered a bad score, like an early top out, so to speak. So coming back and punching back towards a 1.4, so to make it even, that is class.
Yeah, me with a losing 1.4 is just like really tough. He topped out with a mid. I think he actually topped out with like a mid 1.5 or like a 1.5 score. It was it just like showed that it was just a bad game and he's gonna pull off some more good games. And like I need to not like put just not think that was like the way he plays in game 1 and just say it's a bad game and he's gonna pull off more good scores. So it was just really I knew it was gonna be really tough to win this.
So what do you think of game 3? Because I feel like if I had it in my notes, like you were so close on kill screen, but if Dog was hitting a Tetris where you couldn't hit a Tetris, I think somewhere around level 32, level 33, it will be the other way around.
Okay, yeah, in game 3 during that heat of the moment, I didn't know what happened at all, and I just like I thought I was gonna lose, and Dog topped out randomly, so I didn't know what happened to him. But when I came to rewatch, I realized he hung 3 long bars in a row, which was like, oh my god, he could have actually won it. But like, I don't know what would have happened if he got into Tetris. To be honest, because like the butterfly effect, like I could have maybe won game 4 and maybe game 5, but I'm
We
not.
don't know.
Yeah, we just don't know what was gonna happen. Um, it could have made me more nervous and pushed me even harder in game 4 and also game 5. But maybe I could have early topped out like the same way I did in game 4. Or so I don't know what would have happened at that point.
Game 4 was a 1.1 for both, but it was less than 10,000 points that was between you two. Doc winning game 4, forcing a decider, but that game could have been already the championship game because 10,000 points is a third of a Tetris on kill screen.
Yeah, it shifted from Dog having a 100k lead to me and Dog having a 10k difference in the middle of kill screen, which kind of like makes the crowd goes, who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Because like neither player, like both players could win it with like this like low score difference, and it was just like kind of scary for Dog, like Dog fans, because Dog was on the ropes of like losing, and one more game for me, I could have won, but then like I just got into some situations, and like it was just then I just topped out. Then it just went to the decider.
And that the decider, I mean, starting on 29, you just dominated. That's like Dog didn't play bad at all in game 5. You were just better in game 5.
Yeah, that game 5, I don't know what like just clicked in. I was just jamming to my music. I was listening in my earbuds, and also I was like, okay, this is the decider. We gotta play good, and we actually like get rid of all distractions, ignore the crowd just yelling. I could actually win this because we are both one game away from winning the championships.
Yeah.
And if I wanted to have that title, I gotta just push it and just like it's not a screen look and just play my game out. And I do believe game 5, the organizers like rigged the RNG because there was so many long bars in the kill screen.
It wasn't. It was also last. Yeah, I don't know if they rigged the RNG, but like last year when Fractal and Sidnev went to game 5, they went to seed 999,999, and that was a terrible seed. But I don't know what they did between the decider between you and Doc. So maybe they rigged the seed. I have no clue, but still getting a 1.4 for Dog and a 1.7 for yourself. Those are final scores that you want in a World Championship finals.
Yeah, with all pressures in stake, that was that has to be like the most like insane way of ending the decider because like it's the championships and whoever wins becomes the champion, and losing with a 1.49 is like no slouch, of course, because you have all the pressure onto you, and like it's just insane for me to get a 1.78 in the middle of a decider in the championships. Like
But can you
that
believe it?
that
Like
is just
losing,
absurd.
what a 1.4. Losing what a 1.4. I've seen a lot of in classic Tetris, but still, I'm not used to losing with a 1.4.
Yeah, losing with a 1.495, like that in the decider of a championship, that is just like unheard of because usually in CTWC 2023, you have both players like Fractal and Synapse topped out with 1.1, and then Fractal and CTWC 2022 topped out early on 29 with max out. So it was just out of the waters and like just unheard of, just pushing each other still in the middle of the decider. Like, what is going on? Like,
Do you remember what song was playing on the earbuds?
I think I was either listening to The Weeknd or I was listening to, I think it was either The Weeknd or I was listening to the song called 7 Years Old by Luke Graham.
Oh
And
yeah.
I was just like listening to it like on loop the whole time during the whole match.
Oh wow. That is if you were listening to 7 years, that is not a song I would have expected being on loop during a high pressure moment, because that song is so relaxing and quiet. I mean, I get it in that sense, but it's like you maybe I was thinking something more hype, more, you know.
Yeah, I was like thinking, should I listen to a high pace, like high upbeat song, or like just like a more relaxing? But I think like I chose like a lower heart rate song because like really thought like it would help me lower my heart rate and make me less under pressure than
Yeah.
dog. I don't know what he was listening to, but like I was just listening to a lower heart rate song. I think kind of helped me a lot there.
And then game 5, it ends, you win, and you are classic Tetris world champion. You started the game in 2020. 4 years later, you are classic Tetris world champion.
Oh
That
yeah.
is insane.
Yeah, well, I've been wanting that title since I watched Joseph Saley, and just being in the pattern of losing made me want that a lot more. And it comes to show like with a lot of practice, like being a champion requires that, and like not giving up, like how I did in the championships. I think that's just the way of being the Tetris World Champion. You just gotta just keep being persistent and just have a lot of practice with good mindset.
Yeah. And then the Parmesan cheese. They came out. Like, what was the discussion with Vince? Was the discussion before the tournament, or was it the discussion you had after the finals? Like, if I win, I want my Parmesan cheese, or was it a surprise for you?
Um, we were like deciding it in the middle of like the tournament run. Like when I was like out of playing a match, me and Vince and like the organizers for the convention had a discussion. And originally it was gonna be Parmesan cheese and milk, but the regulators like just didn't want that, and they asked for like a tarp and also like to not spoil the floors and stuff because that would cause damage and feeds. So it was just gonna be just Parmesan cheese only, and they didn't want anything to be like messed up. So we had some plans into it, and if I were to lose in the finals or any other match, they would have done it.
For you or for the winner?
For me only.
What was it like for your mom going on stage and pouring Parmesan cheese on top of her son who just won the Classic Tetris World Championship?
Well, obviously she was proud because like not many Tetris players are gonna have this title of champion, but she also knew I'd done this type of acts and I wouldn't get in trouble for it. But she knew I won the championships and she was really happy. So she just was like, "Okay, I'm gonna pour Parmesan cheese."
See, she seemed so happy and enjoying herself on the photos that Gilbert Zhang made. Like, you saw such a big smile.
It was no other parent would like expect for some random teenager to be a champion. So it just felt really like like heartwarming and like kind of emotional in a way.
Yeah. So, what was the days after CTWC for you? Like the after party, obviously you're the man, but like the days after CTWC, flying back home and going back to regular life, but knowing that you won CTWC.
Okay, I post this like on Instagram, like on my stories, and I got like a whole publicity like growing like in my friends. Like I think when I got back to school, everyone was like just knowing I'm the world champion in Tetris. Like I think like everyone like it just spread everywhere, and I was just getting all the attention because as being the champion, and when I started streaming, everyone was just like he's back, and everyone was just like congratulating me. So I guess like I felt amazing just getting a lot of recognition and just being like well known.
Yeah. So it's has to be an amazing feeling.
Yeah, it was one of the best feelings. Like knowing that you're the champion and just having people like accompany you by congratulating you, it just made you feel like, oh my goodness, I just done everything in Tetris. Like I just like beat the world and I'm getting the praise for it, and it's just one of the feelings that not many Tetris players are gonna get because only one player could be a champion.
Yeah, and only couple of players have become world champion.
Yeah, it's just it's really a prestigious reward. Unlike Rebirth, where multiple players can get it like at the same time, this only happens once a year. So you only have like one chance to actually make this like every year. So it's just
Yeah.
really achieving if you win it at all.
So we talked about going back home now, winning CTM Masters in July. Then it takes a little bit of a toll. Classic Tetris. You take a break. You now slowly getting back into the run. What are the goals for you for before CTWC 2025 is here?
My goal for CTWC 2025 is to win another tournament, win like another tournament. It could be any other any tournament with a prize pool. But also, I want to be good at Dask. I want to like branch out like my play styles because I've been only primarily like using roll and tap. I already accomplished tap rollover like recently, but I haven't done much with Dask. So I want to like optimize my Dask performance and even make it in Dask Masters like finals or even win it. And also going for a game crash, I want to extend like the world record by like showing that I can reach confetti. So I want confetti.
Yeah. So you played the 60 million world records on Tetris Gym, and so there was a little bit of discussion: should it be a true world record because you skipped game crash basically? Um, so nobody seemed to care when you broke the 60 million world records, but when Doc got rebirth, then n- some comments, like a quarter of the comments, were like, "Yeah, but this is not officially because he skipped game crash."
There was a comment on YouTube that just like helps answer like the Tetris Gym debate and the Tetris Gym and the original Vanilla ROM. I think it was in Vandy's thing where he talks about it. There was a comment that said we were all playing in the same like conditions or like the same conditions of Tetris Gym. So like it should count because we were all playing the same conditions. We were not playing different cartridges, so it should count.
I mean, in my opinion, it should count, and it does create a very new category like rebirth with skipping with on a vanilla ROM, and that should be very interesting if it's possible or to memorize all things. But is rebirth one of the things that you want to aim for before you go back to Pasadena?
That's a good question. Right now, I'm not in the mindset of it, and knowing that someone already achieved it is just gonna just not like it's not gonna help the case of me like doesn't like going for rebirth because if someone already achieved it, like I already know like someone could get it, but for me, the achievement has already been achieved, so I might just not like go for it as for right now.
Yeah, I I knew that you were a couple of weeks ago. You were in Germany. You were with Mark, organizer of CTWC Das. Is that something that you want to do next year?
I might actually want to like go to like more regional tournaments, like maybe like outside of my state, because like it was just fun communicating with going to Europe for vacation, just going to talk to other Tetris players, and just like having like a fun experience because I think it's more better instead of being competitive and all, being able to communicate with people that share the same passions with you. It just makes it more connecting and like it just makes it more fun. So I want to try to go out like more outside of my state.
Taking more of an ambassador role.
Yeah, like just more united and connecting role with other Tetris players.
So, last topic before I let you go is: do you think now, with all the knowledge that you have, that a DAS perfect max out is possible?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think there was like a debate like with the veterans. Like I remember there was like a debate with like Ben Mullen and something like there was in the documentary like or Terry Purcell like said something about a perfect max out like it's not possible. But I think a perfect dash max out could be achievable, but like you just need like a lot of people going for it at the same time and like a lot of people going for it like for a long time. Like I don't think if it was just one person going for it, it's not gonna happen because like it's just one game at a time and all.
Yeah.
But if there's like a lot of people going for it at the same time with like a high skill ceiling, like knowing the foundation of like stacking knowledge, like no dangler type, I think I think it's possible with like
Yeah.
the right persistence.
My money's on NGC, man.
Oh yeah, NGC man is a high pace player, like always going for a high pace. It could be NGC man. Could be like some like top player like that. It's like a roller. Or they're just good enough with dash control. They could do it. It's just a lot of persistent, and maybe it will happen. My money's like on 2025 or 2026.
Or maybe it's Alex T, because Alex T is picking up DAS, and the way Alex T is playing lately or picking up things, you never
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, it could happen. I think I just need to if I just improve like the way my dash control works, I think I can like start going for high scoring, but I think large improvement I need is on my 19 because 19 is like the hardest with dash because you have a lot of like limitations. So
Yeah.
I just need a lot of improvement right now.
Alex, thanks so much for joining me on the Pizza Fantasy Podcast. It was truly a pleasure to have you, and be a goof, please.
Well, it's been a pleasure, and I'm glad that I can like express and talk about how my perspective on matters of the game.
And with that all being said, this is the end of the PS Dependency Podcast. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to follow us on the socials and have a great Tetris month. I'll see you all in December. Bye!